Hello everyone. In today's video we will explore one of the most intriguing questions of physics and astronomy. What would happen if you fell into a black hole? My name is Anibal and today I will be your host. Black holes are extremely dense and powerful objects that warp space and time around them. They are so strong that nothing can escape their gravitational pull, not even light. That's why they are called black holes. But what would happen if for some reason you got too close to a black hole and were sucked by it? Would it be possible to survive? Would there be another side? Would you enter a new universe? These are some of the questions that we will try to answer in this video. First of all, it is important to know that there are different types of black holes according to their size and origin. The most common ones are the stellar black holes, which form when a very massive star explodes and collapses on itself. They have about 10 to 20 kilometers in diameter, but can contain up to 20 times the mass of the Sun. There are also the supermassive black holes, which are at the center of galaxies and can have millions or billions of times the mass of the Sun. They have hundreds of thousands of kilometers in diameter, but are still very compact. And there are also the primordial black holes, which would be the oldest and the smallest, formed right after the Big Bang. They would have less than a millimeter in diameter, but could have the mass of a mountain. To simplify, let's assume that you fell into a stellar black hole, which is the most likely to be found in space. But remember, this is just a speculation based on the current theories, because no one ever fell into a black hole for real, at least that we know of. The first thing that you would notice as you approached a black hole would be the distortion of light around you. This happens because the gravity of the black hole bends the light rays that pass near it, creating an effect called gravitational lensing. You would see the stars and galaxies around you deforming and multiplying, as if you were looking through a concave mirror. You would also see a bright disk around the black hole, formed by the gas and dust that orbit the object at high speed. This disk is called an accretion disk, and is one of the most intense sources of radiation in the universe. Depending on your distance from the black hole, you could receive a lethal dose of radiation from this disk, burning your body before you even reached the event horizon. The event horizon is the point of no return of the black hole, from which nothing can escape, not even light. It has a size proportional to the mass of the black hole, and is calculated by the formula of the Schwarzschild radius. For example, a black hole with 10 times the mass of the Sun would have an event horizon with about 30 kilometers in diameter. As you cross the event horizon, you would enter an unknown domain, where the laws of physics that we know cease to apply. But before that, you would go through a phenomenon called time dilation, which is the difference of time between two observers in different points of space. This means that for you, time would pass normally, but for someone who is watching from afar, your time would seem slower and slower until it stopped completely. You would never see the event horizon because the light that reflected from it would take an eternity to reach your eyes. You would only see the universe around you speeding up and distorting until it became invisible. For the distant observer, you would seem frozen on the event horizon, and your image would become redder and fainter until it disappeared. This happens because the light that came out of you would lose energy as it tried to escape the gravity of the black hole, suffering an effect called redshift. But for you, the journey would continue. And from there, things would get even stranger. You would go through a phenomenon called spaghettification, which is the deformation of your body caused by the difference of gravity between your head and your feet. As the gravity of the black hole is much stronger on the part closer to it, you would be stretched like a spaghetti and also compressed sideways like a pancake. This process would be extremely painful and fatal, and you would be torn apart. But assuming that you were resistant enough to withstand the spaghettification, what would happen next? Well, no one knows for sure because the equations of general relativity stop working inside the black hole. But there are some possible hypotheses. One of them is that you would reach a central point called a singularity, where the density and the curvature of space-time would be infinite. At this point, you would be crushed to nothing, and your time and space would cease to exist. Another hypothesis is that you would go through a wormhole, which would be a kind of shortcut in space-time that would connect the black hole to another place in the universe, or even to another universe. In this case, you could come out through a white hole, which would be the opposite of a black hole. That is, an object that emits everything that enters it. And there is also the hypothesis that you would create a new universe inside the black hole, which would have its own physical laws and its own history. In this case, you would be the first inhabitant of this universe, and maybe even its creator. These are some of the possibilities that science and imagination allow us to speculate about what would happen if you fell into a black hole. But of course, the best way to know is to try it for yourself. But please don't do that, unless you want to become a cosmic spaghetti. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel for more amazing content. Thank you for watching and see you next time.